You're muted, Ron.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm going to finish eating my sandwich really fast.
Yeah, you don't have to rush.
Hi, Teresa. You don't have to say hello.
Are we recording or are you recording, Ross?
It's recording.
Oh wow. Okay. Terrific.
I guess whatever setting I had must have said to start recording automatically. I don't know if it was already recording.
Okay. Can you edit those? Can you edit Zoom
Yeah,
recording?
I think they're just MP4s, so I think so.
Oh wow. That's kind of cool. Well, go enjoy your sandwich. We're here. I'm gonna go step
Back
away.
4 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Sue, good evening.
Hi, Ron.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you look so nice.
I put a scarf on for you guys.
Oh, beautiful. This shirt has been sitting in the drawer, ready for Minnesota back in March, but I pulled it out and ironed it yesterday.
You ironed it. Nice.
Yeah, well, I did.
I love that shirt.
Oh, it's a little touch of Guatemala. Teresa was on, and she said she recognized the Wapil right away.
Oh, yeah.
The Wapil in the background.
So the dinner in January then of 2020 was at that home versus.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember exactly where they had it,
But no longer at Gavin's place.
no.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna share my screen now so we get our Milagro up.
Okay.
Right. Mhm. Am I still? Let me see.
Is that you, Ron, with music in the background or someone else?
It's Arturo.
Okay, that's fine. I have no problem with it.
Good, yeah. Sue, we're just working something out right now, so.
Yep.
Oh, hey, look, we're at the 2 minutes until. Thank you. Yeah. How are you guys? Oh, it looks beautiful.
It is beautiful, so we thought we'd come outside.
Oh, very nice. Well, I'm glad to know how the weather is out there.
We're concerned it might hurt attendance.
You might get others outside.
Well, there's 6 people online already, so
Awesome.
including our cousin Jan, I think.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got him.
Not yet. Nice. So here, Sherry.
I don't know.
Hey, Dwayne, can you hear the music?
Just barely.
Okay, that's good. Feedback.
There you go.
I got my DJ here. Hey, Arturo, say hi. Say hi.
Hi, I just wasn't going to speak.
Hola, Arturo.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
He's behind the scenes. Thank God. How's the weather in Chicago, Ross?
Lovely today, thanks.
Oh, good.
71 degrees right now.
What is it here, Richard? Do you know?
That's Fahrenheit.
68 here, Fahrenheit. 68 degrees. All systems are up and running. We had a major rainstorm this afternoon. Major. It thundered, lightning, everything. Teresa's already on. We had a nice little chat.
Good.
I don't know where our picture is. Let's see. Start video. Okay, hi, Mike.
Hey,
Hey, hello, Ron.
cousin. Hello, guys.
Hi.
Oh, this is so great. So you got on, no problem, right?
We did. Yeah, we didn't even need that ID number.
Well, we had a long chat with my sister. This
I know.
stuff is way out of my technology
Wow.
range.
And what I did is I said, call Dwayne.
There you go.
Nothing like having brothers, right?
Right. No, none of them do.
Hey, Mike and Sue.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you, Dwayne?
Good. Good to see you both.
Yeah,
You
you
too.
too.
Yeah.
You look like you're set up outside, huh?
Yeah.
We are.
Well,
We
good.
are.
It's a beautiful night out there, that's for sure.
It is. So, and our Wi-Fi pushes itself out here, so we're.
Yeah.
So glad you guys could hang out.
It's really nice.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Now I think you're back.
Can you hear us now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It kicked us out of there.
Yeah.
Why did it do that?
I don't know. Hi, Kathy. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Why don't you slide over so you
There's Jade.
I can't hear anything.
We can hear you.
I need to
you
figure
on-
out why.
Are you unmuted? Are you?
How many people are supposed to be on this tonight, Ron?
Hmm.
Dwayne?
We'll see. We don't know yet. So this is the little chance for people to come on a little bit early and make sure they're hooked up. We'll start right on time at 7:30 your time. You know,
Okay.
yeah. And you'll be able to get out there and do a big walk yet tonight.
No, I did my walking today.
Yeah, we call, when he's out doing it now with his legs, we call it a hobble trot that he does. It's not quite a walk, it's not quite a run, it's a hobble trot.
Well, that's a new nursing term for us.
Yeah, exactly, you got it. You got it.
Hobble trot. Oh yeah, we learned about that in school. There you go. It's amazing how, people can connect. I mean, this is, I don't know if you can see. Jade, can you hear? Can you hear now?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah.
He's talking to somebody else.
Oh.
Where are you at, Ross? Are you in the cities too, or where are you at?
I'm in Chicago in my apartment,
Oh, you live in Chicago.
also known as the Nursing Heart Office.
Okay, all right,
Good
yeah,
to see you guys.
yeah.
So this is quite a technical endeavor.
This is, like I say, way beyond anything I could ever thought of. Oh,
And so I'm running the PowerPoint for tonight's thing with my friend here, Arturo. I don't know if you met Arturo when you guys were here, but
That name kind of sounds
I
familiar.
think so.
What was the little gal's name? We just loved her. She was the oh,
Sarah.
I want to say interpreter, but
Sarah.
yeah. Is she still with you?
Yes, she is.
Oh, say hi to her. Lisa and I just fell in love with her. She was such a sweet gal.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
I think they might be joining.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be
Yeah.
great.
I think so.
Because I'm running the PowerPoint, I can't really view who's all here, but I'll smile.
Well, Dwayne, as long as you hang in there, we'll have somebody to holler at.
There's some other people that are on.
Feel free. I'm not sure I've been yelled at all day, so.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
I don't understand this.
Well, Jan said she's been on your tail a little bit too, Ron, huh?
Oh, she works me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She appreciated that the link. I got the link from her. Well, I don't know what I got, to be honest with you. It's just a miracle. I'm being able to talk to you and see you and things like that, as far as I'm concerned.
It's so fantastic. Yeah.
It is. It's actually kind of cool, but I could never do it by myself.
Yeah. Well,
There ain't a big enough school, and there ain't enough money to send me to anywhere to learn either.
We might have a few professors with us today who could say, we can help that guy.
Yeah. It would take them the rest of their lives, and mine would be long over. So, no, we're not going to learn anything more than we absolutely have to.
I love it.
What happened now? How's things down in the cities, Dwayne?
Good.
Good.
There's this thing called COVID-19. I don't know if you've heard about it.
I've heard about it. I've heard about a few riots and stuff like that. Don't like to talk about them. I'm just trying to get through it all.
Yep.
You will, Mike.
You guys are all okay, right?
We are all good. Thanks.
Good. I was down in Abbott that week when all of that stuff took place. I was in the Abbott hospital,
middle of it all.
back there for another 8 days. And the doctors kept telling me, "Don't worry, we've got the place protected and plenty of security."
Okay.
It's funny. Well, it isn't funny, but it's
No, it's a very challenging time for everybody.
very challenging times all over this country. Yes.
In the world, I would like to add.
Well, sorry.
I think no worries. We I think what are we up to? I think we're up to like 11,000 cases now.
Really?
Yeah. And
7,000 cases.
11,000 here in
Oh.
Guatemala. And we don't have the infrastructure that
Well, it would just be nice if they could fix this. Come up with some serum, like they did for all the past diseases where we didn't have to worry about them anymore.
yeah, we'll get there. We will get there.
I hope so. I hope you are right.
Yeah.
Ross, how are things in Chicago? Are you involved in Chicago at all, or?
Involved with,
What, I mean, are you experiencing any problems with all the riots and stuff like that out of Chicago, in that area?
people are advocating for what they believe in. Yeah, people, there's a lot of community discussion going on, and that's good.
Huh?
It's
Okay.
a good thing.
Democracy.
There it is. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been okay here.
Good.
The state did a pretty good job of shutting everything down early here. And so they're pretty confident they can handle reopening a lot of businesses.
Good.
Now that the case numbers have basically subsided, the curve for Illinois.
Yeah, and they really weren't that bad. Well, Nebraska never really did shut down, I don't think, did they? Completely, and now all of a sudden these southern states are having a rise again. It's very concerning as far as I'm concerned. I hope they.
Yeah, people are gonna make their own. They're gonna have to make their own choices.
Yep.
Be careful.
Yep.
Yep.
Are you going to join us here? or-
Yeah, well, you're just visiting.
Okay, I guess we're just visiting in.
Kinda
I'm
weird
talking to
when we have-
Susan. Susan is running around here, and I can't get her to pay attention.
She doesn't have to at this point. We won't start
That's
for.
what I told him.
That's exactly what
We're just here so everybody can know they're at the right place, right?
Right.
Hi, Ron. Hi, Ross.
Well, hi, Jen. How are you, my dear? Okay, so we got California here.
California's represented.
Oh,
We love it.
Hi.
This is, you guys, this is a very good friend of mine, Jennifer Salas.
Hi.
Actually, yeah.
hi.
Hello. That looks like a pretty area of Minnesota. Milagro, is that, or is that?
This is the Milagro this is up at the lake.
Oh, okay.
It could be in Minnesota.
Yeah, it looks like it could be.
Hey, Ron, did you get this?
Oh, yes, I did. How about that? Isn't that great? I'll get mine.
Aren't these great?
Love that.
Yes, we have our little, how about it? So I'm not gonna pass anything to you guys tonight, don't worry.
Yeah.
I got my mask.
Here in Guatemala, it's mandatory to wear a mask outside. So Cesar and Blanqui got these made for us, which is very sweet
Yeah.
with our logo.
Ron, when you come up, maybe you can bring one or two, huh?
I will, and I have them, and Cesar and Blanqui prepared them for me, so
Awesome.
yeah.
I have a few extra, Ron, if you want to take some extra, and then I can get some more made in the meantime.
That is terrific. I don't go until the 7th, but
Oh, great. Yeah.
yeah, so. We're just nice to, this is, our Sue Wheeler is here, our MC for tonight, Sue. It's so great. And obviously you're coming through loud and clear now, Jade.
Yeah, I had to, I re-downloaded Zoom and I had to restart my computer. I mean, I was on a call with Sarah today, so I don't know what.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why you sign in early.
There have been some funny things with Zoom today, Jade. I had a couple of calls where people had to get out and come back in. So,
Okay. I've heard of a few people not having audio as well, losing like sound. So could you hear me when I was speaking? Could you hear anything or?
We could hear, I think we could, yeah.
you could
But
hear
I-
you, but I guess you couldn't hear us.
I couldn't hear anything, no. I mean, then I played YouTube and YouTube worked, so it wasn't my speakers, so. Hi, Sarah. Is that Sarah down there? I can only see a tiny face. Yay.
Mike and Sue, you have to see Sarah's here.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, it's good to see everyone. So many Sherry, Hannah. Oh my God, Laura.
Sarah.
So
good to see you. I want to send you a hug.
Oh my goodness, it's good to see you, everyone. I'm so
Hi,
happy.
Sarah.
Hello, Sue. Oh my goodness.
Good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. It's been so long. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Well, thank you, everyone, for being part of this. This is.
They were asking
Jessica,
about
too.
you.
Yeah, and I see Jessica too. Oh my goodness, everyone is here.
I know. I can't wait to tell Lisa I got to see you. Their computer is broke, so she
Oh,
would be able to get on. So
well,
tell her I
Lisa-
saw you.
Yeah, tell her that I say hello.
I will do that.
And Sue Wheeler, oh my goodness, everyone.
So nice to virtually meet you, Mike and Sue. I've been wanting to have a call with you for a while. It's so nice to put faces to the names finally.
Yes. And hello, Ron, of course.
There, Sarah.
Yes. Hi.
What time have we got? 6:20. Hi, Laura. I can see you there. Thanks for jumping in.
That's great. Laura, hi. I don't.
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys? Nice to meet. Well, many new faces for me tonight, but I'm glad to be on the call with you all and get to meet so many of the people that make this organization so wonderful. I just joined the board about a month ago, wasn't it? Or 2 months ago. I was really pleased to receive the invitation, and I covered for Jade last year during her maternity leave, so I got to really have a unique insight into how things are run in country, and was just thrilled to be invited to continue to participate in the organization.
We're so happy to have you as well, Laura. Thanks.
Yep. Yep.
I'm jealous, Kathy and Dwayne, of you outside. It looks lovely.
We'll see how long we last before the mosquitoes come out.
Oh,
That's just about their supper time, isn't it?
yeah.
It's
We're
beautiful
having
up there right now.
we're having thunder and lightning and rain in Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh,
So
no.
I'm indoors.
Hi, Bob.
Hello, Ron.
Father
Can you
Bob.
see me? Can you see me?
I can see you all the way from here in Guatemala.
I'm using my laptop, which I never do. I usually use my phone, so I'm unfamiliar with, but it works.
Oh, well, that's great. It's
I'm
great.
happy to be here.
Happy feast day. Today's
Yes,
Bob,
big.
for you guys, is a monk at St. John's where I studied theology, and he is with us. So terrific.
But I'm not at St. John's. I'm in
Right.
Wisconsin.
Right.
Yeah, it's a St. John the Baptist who
Right.
points the way, and you guys point the way to a better life as well.
We hope so.
Yeah, you do.
On
Thank
my
you.
screen, Jade, our director, is right above you.
Hi, Jade.
Hi, Bob. Nice to meet you.
I've heard many wonderful things about you.
Likewise with you.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Great. Well, Ron and I talk pretty often, so.
Yeah. Well, Ron only ever has nice things to say about anybody anyway, but you
Oh,
are very special.
sure.
So I'll say
Yeah.
that.
So I think we're moving into our final minutes here, and I know Ross is gonna get us set up and just do some muting of folks, so we're not gonna be able to hear each other as well, but just for everybody who's on the call already, gosh, we're so grateful you're here. So.
Well, this is great because if we were at the real gala, we would have this mingling beforehand anyway. So it's nice to.
We just don't have anything in our hand, is all. Yeah, I have my tea. That's good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, we've got Sue. Sue and Mo, I think, have joined us as well. Another board member.
Yeah, Jade, you called us out. We'll have to say hello.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We knew you knew that we were here.
We're in-person informal.
You know, we're in the laid back mode of, you know, not looking presentable.
Oh, I doubt that. I'm sure you are.
You're nice.
Is that Lori Crum who's on here? Is that the Lori?
That would be Lori Crum. How you guys doing?
We're good. How about you?
Great. Good to hear your voice.
And Sue Wheeler.
Hi, Sue.
Mary,
I
we haven't seen
can't
you in
see you, but I hear you.
Yeah.
Would be amazing if we could figure out how to do background music, couldn't it? Be nice to have something in the background.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Milagro, Minnesota. You know, our heartfelt thanks to you for joining us tonight. We want this hour to be a joyful one for you, one in which we celebrate our common humanity, including our tremendous capacity, I think, to become kinder and braver and better. My name is Sue Wheeler, and I had the privilege of serving Nursing Heart as a consultant and a coach for a couple of years while the leaders worked to clarify their mission and to lay a solid foundation for their ongoing work. Now I'm honored to support Nursing Heart as a donor and as a volunteer. I have been also so fortunate to serve on the committee to plan and bring this event together. And I've been able to serve with some other wonderful volunteers whose names are on the next slide. There we go. So, and you'll hear more about this first individual a little bit later, Mary Banbenick. If you can wave, thanks, Mary. Sherry Friedrich, Dwayne Naker, and Kathy Naker. And I think because Ron put this slide together, his modesty, I think, prevented him from putting his own name there, but he was certainly a key member of the group. And there's an individual who worked a whole lot of magic as we transition from what was to be an in-person event to this virtual event. And he continues to work that same magic tonight. And his name is Ross Naker. And he is, among other many, many titles, he's administrative assistant at Nursing Heart. You know, I know we all have our own ways of living, learning, and growing through the heartache and uncertainty that surrounds us. And many of us are beginning the hard and necessary work of facing things that perhaps we haven't been fully facing. On my own learning and growth path, I've really been moved by the words of a woman named Austin Channing Brown. And here's something she has said that have moved me. And it is that the work of anti-racism is the work of becoming a better human being to other human beings. And as I think about that and consider that, and I think about my deep experience with Nursing Heart, with the board, with the staff, with the visiting groups, with the incredible people in the communities, as people listen to one another and learn from one another and serve one another, I realize that that's really what Nursing Heart is all about, being a better human being to other human beings. And that is what has inspired me about Nursing Heart from the very beginning, and continues to inspire me, and I hope in some ways makes me a better human. I want to go through a little bit of just the arc of our hour tonight. We're going to start by transporting you to Guatemala through images and music. So we'll play a video soon coming up. That video ends with our founder, Ron, singing a song that he wrote for Milagro. And, you know, he might even sing it in real time for us. We'll see. I hope so. Then Ron will tell us a little bit about how Nursing Heart began. After that, we'll hear from 3 nursing students who have been part of the relationship that the nursing school at the University of Minnesota has with Nursing Heart. And we'll then hear from Jade Parker Manderson. Sorry, Jade. I mean, I know your name really well. That was, you were my first mess up, or maybe not. So Jade is Nursing Heart's executive director, and she'll bring us up to date on Nursing Heart's current efforts. And then I'll return at the end along with Ron to let you know a little bit more about how you can be part of this miracle that is Nursing Heart. Just a few more logistics before we get going. We want to honor your time, so we will conclude at 8:30. For anyone wishing to stay for extra conversation with the Milagro Committee, and Ron and Jade will be here for another half hour. During the program, you might have questions. If you do, just pop those into the chat box at the bottom. Most of us are Zoom experts by now, but for those who don't know, you can click on chat and just enter a question there. And we will be happy to answer those questions during the half hour event. And here we go.
Well, guys, it's so great to have you here tonight. Are you hearing me okay? Just a little nod would be good. Okay, terrific. You know, we know it's a challenging time in the world and in our country, and we're just filled with gratitude tonight on this beautiful Minnesota night for you guys. A little rainy here in Guatemala, but that you could spend this hour with us. We're really, really grateful for that. And I wish I was there in Minnesota so we were all going to reconnect, and that would have been so great. But I'm still happy that we can do it this way. It's a miracle, and it's a miracle that you know, Nursing Heart was founded as a 501c3 in Minnesota. And you know, it's nice to reconnect with folks because I went to St. Thomas, I went to St. John's. Great that some of those folks are here with us tonight. We love you for being here. Thank you so much. And then, you know, so many times, you know, Minnesota is a second home for me. And I'll walk through the streets around here in Antigua, Guatemala, and they'll say, "Are you from Wisconsin?" And it's because of that O thing. I got it when I was in Minnesota. And I still have it. I came to Guatemala in 2004, and it was a time of turmoil and challenge for me in my personal life. And these beautiful people here in Guatemala opened my heart to the goodness of life, cared for me through that time. And when I decided in 2005 to go to nursing school, I said, I want to come back someday. And I made a promise to them that when I come back, I'll come back as a nurse and bring other nurses with me, which is what I did. And if I could tell you all the miracles that happened as this whole thing was starting, we wouldn't have enough time tonight. So I'll just say, if I did have time, I would tell you about these miracles. Like, I'm on the way down to set up Nursing Heart in 2012. And while I'm at the airport in Houston on the way down, I get a call from Rhonda Goodman. Out of the blue, I had no idea who Rhonda is, but she's been working with us for all 8 years. And this past year, she had 7 groups that came from Florida to be with us. Or I would tell you about how in that first year, yes, I was a little naive about how all this would come about. But I would tell you about how that first Christmas, I get this envelope, and inside it had a check for $25,000 from I don't know who it was. And that same funder doubled it in the next year. Or I would tell you tonight about the miracle that happened when it was the last night of applications, when it was time for me to transition out of the executive director role here for Nursing Heart and become a great volunteer. Somebody said, have you heard about this Aussie nurse, Jade Parker Manderson, who has helped during the volcano crisis? She's here. You ought to have her apply. And oh, I'm so happy I did. And what she and the staff has been doing to respond to this year and how they have picked up the mantle and just moved it forward is so exciting. From the beginning, I really didn't think that Nursing Heart was going to be about you know, helping doing clinical work. I really thought Nursing Heart was going to be about a resiliency program for nurses. Come down here to Guatemala, get rejuvenated. And I started, because it was so important to me that nurses not lose heart in their work. I started writing the Monday morning meditation in 2011. We're now up to 463 consecutive Mondays with those. There's all this effort to keep nurses there, not only with all the things they know and can do, but with their heart. And, you know, I would have never guessed that this is what it was going to be, all kinds of reaching out to our communities here in Guatemala who we share life with, and it's such a blessing. And I learned that probably the biggest miracle of all is that when we really care about one another and when we help one another, we're healed ourselves. So they've been part of my liberation, these folks, and I'm grateful. So happy to be with all of you tonight.
Well, thank you so much, Ron. And now we want to take you to Guatemala again to see the work through the eyes of those 3 nurses I mentioned earlier. And this is part of a 4 years and running strong relationship with the nursing school at the University of Minnesota. This is championed by the aforementioned Mary Benbenick. And tonight we're gonna have an opening video that gives you a little bit of a flavor for their experience. And then we're gonna hear from Jessica Baker and Hannah Oswald together, followed by Teresa McDevitt. And then we're gonna close with another brief video about Minnesota. So we'll see you on the other side of that, and enjoy.
Hi, we're Hannah and Jessica. So we both recently graduated with doctorates in nursing practice from the University of Minnesota. And last year we went to Guatemala with our School of Nursing and Nursing Heart, and we're here tonight to share some of our experiences.
Tonight you're hearing about the important work that Nursing Heart does. Our trip was led by Doctors Mary Benbenick and Sherry Friedrich and consisted of a mix of family, pediatric, and adult gerontology advanced practice nursing students. Before leaving Minnesota, each of us researched different aspects of Guatemala: the economy, political structures, the healthcare system, and the people. All of our preparation was nothing compared to the lessons we learned in Guatemala firsthand. Throughout our trip, in addition to the clinical experiences, Nursing Heart arranged impactful educational activities to provide each of us with a deeper understanding of the communities that we were there to serve.
We had an incredible week in so many ways, and I think we could each talk a lot longer than the few minutes we have about how much we loved our trip and how much we appreciated the work we were honored to take part of. We are embraced by each community we served and were quickly entrusted to provide healthcare and healthcare education. This is a testament to Nursing Heart and the strength of its partnership with community leaders to provide ongoing support. Prior to our arrival, they worked tirelessly to develop connections and build trust so that we could step into a solid foundation on which to provide care. It was clear these connections would continue to grow following our departure, ensuring follow-up and ongoing care would be available for those we encountered. Nursing Heart strongly believes nursing care does not have a finite start or end point, but rather forms partnerships that foster hope in the public health of communities and participants. Its members live this mission out time and again.
I'd like to share one of the most moving and impactful stories of the week for us. When we finished our 2 days providing care in a small community outside of San Martin, Hilotepec, the community leaders shared their gratitude during a closing ceremony. The mayor of the town spoke to us about the impact of our visit, stating that our care and advocacy for his community had inspired his people to become advocates for their own health as well. They were inspired to care for themselves and strive for healthier lives because we cared to come. It was a powerful statement and again, a testament to the good Nursing Heart is doing for these communities.
Lastly, we want to reflect on the benefits provided to nursing students visiting these communities through the work of Nursing Heart. It is true that we come from a more resource-rich background, but the people of Guatemala opened their arms and hearts to us and gave us more than we could ever repay. Trips such as this strip away the busyness of technology and the rushed pace of healthcare and reconnects you to nursing at its core, developing connections with patients and families, performing thorough assessments, and partnering to create holistic plans for treatment. It can be hard to remember these things in the frantic nature of our healthcare system, and the work of this organization pushes these principles to the front of healthcare, ultimately making us better providers and better human beings.
We appreciate the donations and hard work which have made this mission possible. And donations tonight will help Nursing Heart to continue to do what they do best, providing compassionate care to communities that are often otherwise overlooked. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for having us here tonight.
Had to remember to take myself off mute. It's the key. Hi, my name is Teresa McDevitt, and I am a Doctor of Nursing Practice student at the University of Minnesota, and I am specializing in women's health. I had the privilege of spending time in Guatemala with Mary and Sherry in January of 2020, and it was then that I first experienced the amazing work and the people that make up Nursing Heart. From the moment we arrived at the airport, the people of Nursing Heart treated us like family. I soon came to realize that this same love and warmth applied to everyone they encountered: volunteers, community members, and most importantly, their patients. Nursing Heart does so much of the work that many of us go into healthcare to do in the first place. They form relationships with the people and communities they serve, and they directly address the needs that are brought to them. Not only do they treat illness, they also take it one step further by looking at access to transportation, medications, healthy food, etc. They realize the impact that properly managing chronic diseases like hypertension and diabetes have on the long-term quality of life of the individual and also the community as a whole. Through work like their hypertension and diabetes clinics and their partnership with stove installations in the community, they help to empower individuals to manage these conditions through education, relationship building, and close follow-up. They also address environmental factors such as air pollution from cooking smoke that have long-term health impacts on individuals from a very young age. In the interactions I witnessed between the staff of Nursing Heart and patients, it's obvious that the patients feel the utmost love and respect towards the staff. Equally important, however, is the respect displayed from the staff of Nursing Heart towards their community. It's important as medical providers to remember that our everyday is often a time of fear, uncertainty, and vulnerability for our patients. There's also a sense of hierarchy and power imbalance in many relationships between patients and providers. In the rush to see a busy schedule, simple acts of respect can be glossed over, which result in harm to relationships over time. I was struck by a particular instance during our trip with Javier, our interpreter. We were doing a home visit in the community, and it became apparent that the person whose home we were supposed to visit had not been made aware ahead of time that we were coming by the community partner. This community partner kept assuring us that it was fine, but Javier made a point to go alone to talk with the homeowner ahead of time. I imagine that in this conversation, he made sure that it actually was okay with the individual in a more private setting before bringing in a group of students into someone's home. These small acts of respect spoke volumes to the quality of the individuals working for Nursing Heart and to their commitment to building lasting community relationships. To say that my time with Nursing Heart has impacted my life and nursing career is an understatement. I have continued to work on my poor Spanish every day since returning in an effort to communicate better with Spanish-speaking individuals in my community and hopefully on future trips to Guatemala. The focus on primary prevention and lifestyle that Nursing Heart promotes through their clinics is something that I too strive to focus on in my future practice. Thank you so much for allowing me time to speak with you all this evening.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jessica, Hannah, and Teresa, and also to you, Mary, and also to you, Sherry Friedrich, for just continuing to nurture this relationship. So grateful. It is now my honor to introduce Jade Parker Manderson. I got to be part of the search process that eventually led to Jade. And I feel so fortunate that I got to know her, to get to know a little bit about her leadership style and about her heart. And that continues to happen. And I believe Jade, I believed it then, that Jade was just the right person for this job. And now I believe it's even clearer. So with that, Jade, you're on the air.
Thank you, Sue. Yeah, when I was approached about this job, I really couldn't believe that there was an organization in the world, let alone in Guatemala, that existed in the way that Nursing Heart does. I had been working for previous nonprofit organizations, and I don't know if anyone's familiar with the books Toxic Charity and Doing Good Says Who, but there are a few of the books where people with really good intentions can sometimes not get it right. We all, can sometimes not get it right, but I just couldn't believe when I was interviewing Nursing Heart and also being interviewed myself that there was an organization that was pure and pure of heart. And I am so grateful to have been chosen and to work with such an amazing team, work with amazing communities, our partners at the university, and also our nonprofit partners here. And we have some people from People for Guatemala, Hombres y Mujeres, and actually on this call tonight. I want to tell you about a little story. One of my first medical clinics with Nursing Heart, and actually coincidentally it was with the University of Minnesota. We were in a small remote community called Cimarleo, which Jessica and Hannah just spoke about, and we had closed intake for the day. We had met our capacity of patients and we weren't accepting any new ones. And this frequently happens because there are a lot of other priorities for people other than healthcare, especially if you're living off $2 a day for a full day's work. Obviously feeding your family is more important than healthcare, and rightfully so. And whereas this mum came in the afternoon, she said, "I want you to see my baby." And I was still very new with the process. I think I was there. Ron was off doing something else, and so I was sort of at the helm of it. And I said, "Yeah, sure, show me." And she brought me this, what looked like a handful of blankets, was actually inside was a newborn baby. And it was a beautiful little boy called Brandy. He was only a few days old. And I'm sure Doctors Mary and Sherry will remember this story. And he, as beautiful as he was, he looked awful. He looked terrible, so sick. very listless, and it was a scary moment. Luckily, we had Dr. Sherry there, and there was also a nurse practitioner student who was specializing in neonatology, along with our Guatemalan doctor, Carlos, who took the patient into, I would say, our examination room, which was actually a stall from the fruit and veg market that we had neatened up and put to bed. And we did a rapid assessment on this baby. Now, if this baby had arrived to a hospital in the US or to the pediatric emergency department in Australia, we would have rushed him through to resuscitation. He would have had about 10 health professionals looking after him, and within minutes would have had oxygen, IV cannula with fluids, blood tests. He would have had the works done. But when you're in Guatemala, in a rural and isolated community, you don't even have a health post, let alone a local doctor or oxygen. And quickly, the specialists, our personal specialists, diagnosed that this baby needed care and needed to get to a hospital quickly. And so I had a phone call with Amilcar, who is the director, the country director of Hombres y Mujeres en Acción, a very wonderful partner of ours. And we decided to call an ambulance. Now, another miracle, as Ron was talking about, was that the ambulance arrived in 30 minutes. In these communities that we serve, you can have one ambulance for a whole number of different villages. And if that ambulance is already on a call, it could take them 4 or more hours to arrive. We were just so lucky that they were in the area and were finishing a transport. And so they arrived in 30 minutes. We bundled this little tiny newborn baby, only a few days old, with its mum into the ambulance, and we just prayed and hoped that the baby would make it to the hospital and would be okay. And then in the afternoon, we had that beautiful speech from the mayor. Now, that all to me is every day. I'm a pediatric emergency nurse. So this kind of scenario isn't too unfamiliar, apart from being without a room full of medicine and medical supplies. But I didn't know what would happen next. Well, Cesar, the clinical director, he maintained contact with that mum every day or every 2 days for the next 2 weeks. Little baby Brandy was taken to the local hospital. He was diagnosed with severe dehydration, and he was treated and sent home 2 weeks later. And now I assume he is a big, chubby, healthy baby. One of the things that stood out to me was, if we weren't there that day, what would this mum have done? What do these people in these communities do if they have to travel hours on foot, if there is no public transport, or in the back of a pickup truck? How do they access healthcare? And this was when I really, really saw the benefit of Nursing Heart and taking the clinics to the heart of the village, to where people live, to where they need it most. Take it to them, open our doors to them, because we're here to break these barriers to healthcare. We're here to provide healthcare to people where they need it most. And this was a story that's really, really stuck with me. And I'm sure it has with the doctors Sherry and Mary as well. In case you don't know about Guatemala, 80% of the population live in poverty or below the poverty line, which is less than $2 a day. That ambulance we paid the fee for, which was about $25 to $30 US. So if you're living on about $2, you would have had to have given 2 weeks worth of wages to cover that. So there are many barriers to healthcare in this country, not only cost, not only distance, there is also language barriers. And one of the things that we as an organisation aim to do is, through trusted partnerships, we want to break those barriers. There are a few other illnesses in Guatemala that we are working on fighting. Cervical cancer is the biggest cancer killer of women in Guatemala. And in our women's health clinics, we see around 700 women a year. And we do a cervical screening and a treatment. And we also treat their partners as well. And this is in conjunction with some local Guatemalan doctors and gynecologists. Part of our programs, we have a dual mission. And so you've heard from some of our previous university students and our guests and our nursing guests. And our dual mission is to provide nursing students with a global health experience, but at the same time, providing healthcare to where it's needed most in Guatemala. And this is how we do it. We provide general medical clinics, women's cancer clinics, women's prevention clinics, child health clinics, stove programs, diabetes, and some other ones. And I invite you at the end of today to check out our website or to stick around after the call and ask us any questions about any of the programs that we have. One of the ways that we're working on beating malnutrition in Guatemala is by holding our school clinics. We in Guatemala have one of the highest rates of malnutrition in the world. We actually are above some African countries. About 50% of children under the age of 5 are suffering from malnutrition. And so in our yearly school clinic programs, we provide dental assessments, fluoride treatment, parasite treatment, height and weights, and health education to not only the students, but to the teachers and to the families as well. All in all, we see around 7,000 people a year. Now, COVID has hit us like it's hit the rest of the world. And so I just want to update you because you're probably thinking, well, what is Nursing Heart doing right now? COVID hit us and we had to suspend programs, and our university partners, we lost 5 university trips. Now, that means that there is about 3,000 of our people that have been left without our programs. And our communities are the heart of Nursing Heart. And so what are we doing as a team? Well, we got together and everyone has talked about how wonderful the team are. They really are special and they care so much about the communities. And so we got together and came up with a plan B. So right now, we are committed to still providing the clinics that we had promised, even if we do not receive students from or nurses from the US. We will be utilising local Guatemalan doctors and nurses to provide these clinics in the communities when it's safe to do so, and ultimately when the communities invite us back, because Guatemala at the moment is reaching peak with COVID cases, and so we have to be a little bit extra careful. We're not sure when we'll be able to do these clinics, but we're in contact with them and the communities know that we are here for them and that we will be supporting them in a way that we can and that they desire. Right now, we're also doing emergency food relief for some of our community members. A lot of people have been left without jobs, and if you were living on $2 a day, I don't imagine that you would have had any room for savings. And so we are providing food and care packages, and it is through generous donations from people that we have been able to do this for their communities. How are we looking after our nursing partners, the universities? Well, right now, and this is actually something that's really exciting, if you're going to take something positive from a bad situation, is we are working on providing a online or a virtual global health exchange. And so what that's going to cover is some webinars. Hopefully we can do some case scenarios and some virtual clinics when we get back to the communities. It's a way to show that we really respect and we appreciate the university partnerships that we have, and we also want to support global health, education and cultural exchange, because that is really important to nurses as a whole. Speaking of nurses, the latest campaign, if anyone has seen, is that nurses have been asking, we've been doing a fundraising, to buy protective equipment for nurses. One of my friends here is a public health doctor, and she called me the other day and said, Jade, nurses in Guatemala are dying. They're dying because they don't have protective equipment. The hospitals are overflowing. Patients are on the floor. There are no resources. And nurses, especially nurses that aren't working directly with diagnosed COVID patients, aren't getting even masks. Can you help? Can Nursing Heart help? And I said, yes, absolutely, we can. And so I'm so happy to say that tomorrow we'll be starting the delivery of around 3,000 masks to some nurses at the general public hospitals that are treating a majority of COVID and non-COVID patients. And again, it is so thanks to our donors, that generous donors, that means that we as a team have been able to make these rash decisions, and as a team we have been able to support Guatemala in a way that it needs right now, in a changing way. And so I just want to reassure you that we will get back to how we used to be, but we're going to be bigger and we're going to be better, and bigger and better not in a necessarily a bigger expense, but we're going to be continuing to serve the people in a way that we can. I want to invite you to speak with us afterwards. But first of all, I have some of our staff members on a little video who want to share their thanks. And I personally want to say welcome to Guatemalan family. Welcome to the Nursing Heart family. It's so nice to see you, and I look forward to speaking to you all after this.
Hola, my name is Sara Rebecca Castañeda, and I've been working for Nursing Heart since pretty much the beginning. I'm so thankful to all of you because you are helping us to help others. Thank you. Gracias.
Hello, my friends. Good morning. How are you? My name is Cesar Santos. I am a clinical director in Nursing Heart. I work for 1 year. This year, the last year. I am very excited for my work. I am a nurse. Thank you so much for your support for us patients in Santa Maria de Jesus. I love you. Big hugs and kisses for us. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Blanqui. I am a pharmacist. I'm educated of nursing hair. I work in nursing hair for 6 years, and now we are in Santa María de Jesús, en la clínica de diabetes and hypertension. I talk to you that I love my work with nursing hair. I work with all my hair every day in this organization. So thank you all for help us Thanks all for your support for the people of Guatemala. So God bless you for all. Okay? Bye.
My name is Javier Orellana. I am the administration assistant for Nursing Heart in Guatemala. One of the things that I love about my work is that I get to help the people that I care about in this country. Thank you very much for your support. Gracias. Feliz día.
Hi everyone, my name is Ross. I am Nursing Heart's administrator here from Chicago, Illinois. I get to help plan trips and logistics with all of our university partners and our staff in Guatemala. What I love about my work is the chance to help people experience Guatemala, help form partnerships between nurses and the people of Guatemala and nurses in Guatemala. Thanks for all of your support.
Wow. There aren't words, but I'll try to come up with some. I hope you continue to be inspired by the amazing work at Nursing Heart, as I am, in ways that are meaningful to you. Of course, one of those ways is to offer financial support. And so many of you on this call, and even people who weren't able to make it to on the call, have so generously supported this Milagro Minnesota gathering. And for that, we thank you from the bottoms. Is it bottoms of our hearts or bottom of our hearts? Anyway, you'll figure it out. But we thank you so much. You may have noticed in some of our prior correspondence that we had a collective goal tonight of $10,000. And as of about 7 o'clock tonight, we had raised $8,730. So hats off to all of you. Thank you, bravo. And let me just add, if you're a donor like me, it helps to have a little bit of context. So I just want to throw a couple of numbers out, and you'll forgive my math if it's not quite right. But I know that Nursing Heart has a running budget of about $450,000 a year. Of course, spending was down from that this year because of the canceled groups that Jay told us about. But also revenue was down. And there's a gap of approximately $125,000. Now, because the leadership at Nursing Heart is highly responsible, the founder and the current leaders, there are reserves to cover that gap. But we sure are moved to decrease that gap to the extent that we can. So if we succeed or even surpass our goal of $10,000 tonight, by my math, that's about 8% of the gap, just for Minnesota alone. So if those of you who haven't given, or those of you who feel compelled to give another gift, I would invite you to do that. I think Ross is going to drop into the chat box a direct link to Milagro Minnesota. You can also go to, right here on the screen, www.nursingheart.org, and click on the Give with a little heart by it button in the upper right-hand corner of the web page. And I can tell you, as someone who has worked with mission-driven organizations in Guatemala for a very long time, that Nursing Heart is the real deal. They are truth tellers. They listen, they respond. They are constantly striving to make the work better. And I think you heard some of that when you heard the remarks from the wonderful 3 nursing students, from Jade, from Ron. And so I am just a big believer in Nursing Heart. Thank you for all you've done. And Ron, I hope you can take us home in your wonderful way.
We'll see. We are I just joined Sue. Thank you, Sue, very, very much for being with us tonight. We're nearing the end of our program, and it is so exciting for us to have so many wonderful people, including yourselves, helping us do this work with our brothers and sisters. Our board president, Amanda Chaufflet, a few years ago gave us this little phrase that says, "Si has venido aquí para ayudarme, estás perdiendo su tiempo. Pero si has venido porque tu liberación es ligada a mía, entonces trabajemos juntos." If you're here to help me, thanks a lot. But if you're here because your liberation is caught up with mine, then let's work together. And that's really been the driving force behind what we're trying to do. Look, we're a human family. We belong to each other. And Nursing Heart is the only nursing organization in Guatemala. There have been so many sacrifices by so many people who've made this work possible, and it's all miracles. But as I said earlier tonight, it's maybe the greatest miracle is how we all experience our healing, our hope, when we work together for our brothers and sisters. So thanks everybody for just making this a night. It's amazing, isn't it? Here we are connected from Florida and California to Chicago to Minnesota and Guatemala. And we can be together in this. And we've learned how to adapt through these challenging times. And that's what Nursing Heart, I know under Jade's leadership and the great staff, will continue to do. We'll take the situation as it is. Maybe we're going to have a downpour of rain or whatever, but we'll deal with it. And that's what we're doing tonight, is we're learning to deal with our lives and our world together. And it's so good that way. So we're going to pause for I think that's our big thank you to you. We're going to pause, and we can, for those who would like to stick around, we'll just take a couple of minutes here to let those who need to go, you go. And as promised, you all did it. Fantastic. We're done before the hour. And so Sue, and okay.
Yes. We hope that, as I said earlier, the Milagro Committee and Jade and Ron and myself will continue to stay in this Zoom room, and we are so happy to answer any questions you have either put into the chat box or that you want to say in real time. We're here with you.
Very, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, we're just going to pause here for a second.
Thanks, everybody.
Sharing our screen, and everybody will come back together. Oh, so Amanda, you're here. So great. This is our board president.
I wouldn't miss it.
Hi, Amanda.
I just put this screen behind me, so I fade in and out like I'm in space.
Love it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Wow.
This is my new favorite hiking spot. This is like 5 minutes from my house.
We have I think, did Sarah leave maybe? Oh no, Sarah's here. We also have Sarah here as well, who's part of the team.
Yeah.
Sorry to have you in, Sarah.
And I spoke to Cesar and Blanqui today, and they said they were going to be with us too, but maybe with the storms and stuff, we've had a little trouble with that. But
And I know Javier was going to as well, but he's actually been busier than ever, so he might have.
I sure want to join, your friends and our friends, Mary and Sherry, and all of us, just to thank the committee for helping us pull this together. This is kind of a new thing for us to say, how can, it's not like a dinner, but, thank everybody for hanging with us in this.
Yeah. And Teresa, I wanted to say a thank you again for doing your fundraiser, or for naming Nursing Heart as the recipient of your fundraiser for the run. Thank you so very much for that. Now I get to say it in person. It's much nicer than an email.
Thanks. It was really fun. It was my first time ever doing something like that. So I learned a lot, but I was honored to get to give you guys a little something. So.
What did you run? What was the race?
Well, so I ran cross country in college and high school, and have a lot of friends that are pretty active in the running community, and had a lot of races that were canceled because of COVID-19. And they were just talking about race fees and whatnot. And I was like, wait a minute, why not have people donate the money that they would normally donate to do, or, that they would normally pay to do a race? And I just picked a random day and said, it's a virtual 5K, go out, walk, run, bike, and then donate whatever you feel comfortable. Well, I had them buy a ticket to the race, and then we donated the ticket profits to Nursing Heart. So yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great idea.
You know, one of the things that we have talked about for a long time is putting together like a resource packet for people who would like to help us do local fundraisers. I mean, there are certain legal requirements that we have to satisfy in order to make that legal, but we can work with individuals to do that. I think what we find is that a lot of times people have really good intentions of wanting to help us, but then they need some resources from us in order to make it legitimate, you know, like some content, some background, like what you saw tonight. And so it would be amazing if we could kind of lean on people just like you who go out of their way to host these, you know, local fundraisers who may be able to help other people who contact us that we just don't always have the bandwidth to kind of nurture through the process.
Yeah. And I felt like a lot of the people that did donate had either been hearing me talk about it nonstop since coming back, and I also like had linked to the Nursing Heart website like in the event that I created so people could take a look and make sure it was legit. But I think that would be super helpful to have like a almost like a pamphlet of you know, that says what we do and these are this is the presence we have in the community, and even like the story of how it came to be. Yeah, I think that would be great.
Okay, awesome. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, well, I also, and this is, I can message someone about it privately, but didn't know if there would ever be a need for a nurse practitioner with Nursing Heart that works specifically in women's health, just knowing your focus on cervical cancer and whatnot. So that can be something we talk about another time if you want.
Yes, please get in touch. That would be lovely.
It's really nice. Lori, I know you're still with us here. It's really great to have you with us tonight. Lori was our first clinical director. And
oh, great.
Lori, can you
yeah, now I get to unmute and learn all the techie here in the States. I'm ready to go back to the woods or back to the remote, trust me. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to partake and listen to the work that continues, and to having been a part of that, you know, my hat, my heart, my arms are wide open. Thank you so much for all that you do. Sorry, I'm blacked out right now, but I had a long shift today and I'm feeling a little bit rugged, so we're just gonna leave it as black, and it goes into Black Lives Matter. So it's all appropriate for what's been happening up this direction and in the rest of the country and now world. So it's awesome that you not only continue to survive, but I think rather than use the word survive, it's about like building up continued resilience, and to see Nursing Heart continue to forge forward, and to really be very mindful about the projects that you're continuing to support and how you are going about very thoughtfully, very mindfully, choosing the communities that you're working with and staying within capacity to really be able to provide resources needed in such an under-resourced area is really awesome. So my hat's off and kudos to you and to all the groups that continue to support the work, the universities. Just may it continue to grow and flourish in a really righteous, positive way.
Yes, Lori, thank you.
Thanks, Laurie. I hope to meet you one day. I hope you come down.
Oh, of course I will. I can't stay away. It's a lovely country.
Nice to hear you, Lori.
Yeah, back at you, all of you.
Yes, Lori. Hello.
I'm sorry, I just got to jump in because we're having
Hermana,
so
¿cómo
long.
estás?
Aquí se excelente. Oh my God, it's good to hear your voice.
Back at you, my friend. Much love, sister.
Ah,
Well, I just wanted to really quickly say, Nursing Heart through Lori, she says, hey, we go up to Santa Maria de Jesus, and I have an NGO that I help a school in Santa Maria de Jesus, which is in Guatemala. I actually live in California, but I spend a lot of time in Guatemala. In fact, Ron is staying at my place. He's my new roommate. Way to go, Ron.
Yes.
And I'm like incredibly grateful for Lori just stepped up and said, nope, we're going to start coming to your school and we will do, biannual, testing of, checking their weight and their height and nutrition and teeth and just, I am a firm believer of Nursing Heart because it makes such a huge impact. And seeing these pictures of Guatemala and I'm going to get a little emotional because I'm not able to be there this summer, and it's a place of beauty, and the people are so grateful. A lot of you have already said that, but they'll give you, they have nothing, and they'll give you whatever they have because that's just who they are. And they are people of extreme resistance, and during this time, we're raising money as well for this families at the school. And it's been just very difficult for me trying to help from here. But thank you for Nursing Heart. It's a firm, wonderful nonprofit, and it's so wonderful to be on this Zoom meeting. And I'm sorry I'm emotional, but I'm just watching these slides today and just like, it could, any part of Guatemala, you'll meet the same type of people, and the people that are the poorest of the poor that we're able to connect with and help. It's so rewarding. And I loved hearing the nursing students talk about their experiences there. And if, we can just keep it going and allowing people just to be able to help. It's such a gratitude thing. So thank you, Nursing Heart, for all you've done for the school. Thank you, Ron. Jade, I want to meet you next time I'm in Guatemala. So
yes. Yes, please. That would be great. And do reach out if there's any way we can continue to support right now. I know Cesar has been calling all of our partners to see how everyone is and how we can help. So don't hesitate to reach out if we can do anything for you. We're still doing our diabetes clinic every month. So we're going to Santa Maria de Jesus every month.
Thank you. It's made a huge difference. It's so nice to have you come to us and not us trying to figure out how to get students to different clinics in that area. Just to have like the biannual help and the Abendisol. Blanqui, thank you for helping with that and getting the medicines needed. Those children have parasites most of the time, but at least twice a year they're taking medicine to get rid of those and then have a chance to thrive for a bit, so thank you for that.
No worries, Jen, and we'll come back and finish the program that we've missed as soon as we can, so we'll be in touch.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
I'm going to welcome Marion Richardson, who is our first board president. Marion, can you hear us? At least I see your name there.
I can hear you.
So now we have Seattle here too. This is great. It's a very nice little reunion.
Ron, can I just add a word?
Please.
Okay, well, I'm from the University of Minnesota, and in the words of Sue, I just want to echo that Nursing Heart Inc. is the real deal. about 5 years ago, I was looking for an experience for students that would sort of expand their horizons a little bit. And I did a lot of searching, and I fell across Nursing Heart Inc. And I thought, well, this is it. They embody everything I'm looking for. And I was delighted to go there and find out that they really do deliver everything they say, and they are so partnered with their communities that you just jump in and you feel like you're one of them, and they really connect with their community partners, and they're all about promoting health and advocating for the people who live there. And it's just been a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you, Mary. And we feel the same way. I know.
Yeah, you do. Thanks, Mary. I'm impressed we finished early.
Yeah, it's very good. You know, none of us has a problem, I think, you know, blah, 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 because there's a lot to talk about, but we know that.
I found it hard to pick what, yeah, there's so much to talk about.
Right. Is there any other questions that anybody has for any of us that are here, that are still with us here? So
we're all friends now, mainly.
We're all friends.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I got a question for you. I'm sorry, Sarah, were you going to say something?
No, I just want to say that because in the name of Guatemalans, in the name of the staff, we appreciate everything each of you are doing in here. This is so wonderful to see you. And I know you have a beautiful experience in here in Guatemala, but let me tell you that we also have a good experience with you, having you in this country. We really love you. We are welcome because you are welcome to us too. So you know, you get what you give. So we are so thankful for all of you to be here and supporting Nursing Heart from the beginning. I see a lot of faces, you know, so they're familiar from a long time. So it's good to see everyone being here together for this special event. And thank you. And a lot of love from here, and good energy and good health and happiness, because I know we're going through you know, a difficult time in the world, but we all here for a reason, and we are here together as Nursing Heart.
Absolutely.
I got a question for you all. It's Lori again. Can you, as far as like the fall and you're looking forward at this point, do you have any ideas? Are you going to be as to your time frame when you'll be able to open up again, or are you looking at maybe after January? Is everything in the air, or how are you able to even schedule your groups and your planning?
Yeah, that's $1 million question, Laurie. Thank you for asking. Actually, we've been discussing that a lot lately with the team locally and also with the board. We know we're not going to be accepting any groups for this year, as in until January. And we're also debating right now, ethically, is it okay for us to accept groups to come from January we're not sure if there's going to be a vaccine. We're not sure if we don't want to be introducing anything to, you know, to the people of Guatemala, a very vulnerable population already. And we, as you said, yeah, I will say it's up in the air, but we have some very strict decisions that we have made, or some strict guidelines that we're going to work towards. We have decided that we will say there'll be a blanket no for no groups until the end of this season. So not accepting any groups until 2021, the middle of the year. However, we will review basically month by month. So it also depends on the universities, because I know some universities are now saying they're not doing anything until fall 21 anyway. We've had other universities that said, if you're willing to accept us in January, we'll come back. And so the only group that we're yet to communicate with, and we will very shortly, are the communities. So really we need to see if they are willing to accept us as well, especially with the amount of cases that the US has right now. So we are assuming, as you said, nothing until January, as in no groups from the US until January, but probably more than likely we won't start programs, university programs, until the end of next year. But we will be, in the meantime, be trying to serve and hold the clinics utilizing local staff, local doctors and nurses, if we can.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm just curious, can you give any kind of like indication or perspective as to what is the fear level? I know, without getting too much into politics right now, with the number of ICE people who have been released down there who then became positive with COVID, and now a lot of it kind of reflecting back negatively on the states and our irresponsibility. What do you feel like is the level of fear, especially in the more remote communities, of having outsiders from the US come in?
I think it's very real, and I don't want to assume. It's probably something that we should ask Cesar, because he is the one that's in touch with the community leaders. But I do think that fear, at least initially, was very prominent. Now Guatemala is getting at least 700 cases diagnosed a day, and at a rate of about 70% of all testing is positive. And so I think right now the communities are not just thinking that it's from the US, that it's a community issue, it's a local issue as well now. So I do think there is some, there would be some, in the future there will be an issue or some caution, but I think there'll be that caution all the way around the world with opening borders and letting people in, I think, no matter in what country you are. But I definitely would be happy to talk to Cesar about and see what the communities are thinking about that. But we need to be careful, and that's why before we even commit to any of our programs or any of our university partners, we need to speak with the communities and see what they're feeling.
Well, and Jade, if I could just piggyback on that, this is also the reason why you are working with the staff so closely to figure out other, even more flexible ways for us to accomplish our mission. So, moving to kind of a distance learning format into integrated kind of clinical situations, potentially for the nursing student portion of our mission, and then utilizing the local workforce for the healthcare portion of the mission, just so we're not so stuck on the mode of delivering the mission that we kind of chop our feet off. The problem is it costs money to do all of these things, and so we don't have a nice, clean way of generating the amount of money that it takes to provide these programs without the students coming. And so we just have an added burden of trying to do the best fundraising of our organizational lives to make sure that we can accomplish the mission in these really flexible ways. So that's why events like tonight are so important, and everyone being here and listening to the information about the mission and all of that is, it means so much to the organization. So we're really grateful, because that's how we're going to keep our mission going.
I think it's been really exciting just to see how you guys are working, and to see the, these new ideas, that you're not just kind of being down in the dumps like, oh my God, our groups, but you're really turning around and saying, hey, how do we make this an opportunity? And it's very exciting, especially the online learning courses, and it's pushing our imagination a little bit, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's something really important to me, is that obviously the communities, they need us the most right now, and probably more than ever. And health in Guatemala is going to change drastically, and healthcare in Guatemala is going to be different. We don't even know what that's going to look like. in the future, or all around the world. But part of our brainstorming was also, how do we maintain these relationships that Ron, you and Nursing Heart have worked so hard to build with the university partners? And having spoken with the university professors and leaders, this is a really important component to their curriculum as well, is this global health exchange. And if we can't get people down here, well, how can we continue to support that partnership and that learning? Because, as we heard from, the three nurses, and as I know as well, being a nurse, like, this cultural exchange and getting down into a community is actually how you learn more than just the research and the theory. And so that's going to be our biggest challenge now, is how do we replicate as close as we can to an actual in-country experience while respecting communities and privacy and all of that. So that's going to be the next challenge. But I'm so glad that we and the board are supportive, and that the staff are supportive as well, that we can carry this to continue both parts of the dual mission. So.
Hi, this is Mary. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
I'm sure you've thought about, I came in late because I'm on West Coast time, like Amanda, and I was at work, but I would be happy to look at the alumni group and see and make them aware of what's going on, because I feel like they have a special place in their heart for Guatemala because of Nursing Heart, and they might be good people to help support the organization through this time, because they benefited from what they learned and how it opened their minds. And so if you ever are interested, and this is just coming off the top of my head, but if you're ever interested in having people reach out to the alumni students that came, or the people that came, I think you might get a good reception, especially if you have the people that brought them to Nursing Heart reach them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've reached out. We've tried. I mean, we've sort of engaged on some of that stuff, trying to create an alumni network, or all the information is there. We've tried some emails in the past, years ago now, a couple years ago. But it might be a good time to try and find resources to be able to do some personal reaching out, and that is a great idea for what a volunteer could do if they were interested in contributing to Nursing Heart via their time. So thank you for that.
Yeah, we have not cracked the nut on alumni giving, so we could very much use the help if you have ideas for how to do that.
You're like this Teresa, and her just taking it upon our own initiative to get out there, do that thing. Oh man, that's exciting. And this may be an opportunity, especially when schools can't come, that we ask the current students to help us outreach to those who are already working in the nursing field.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, it's a great suggestion, Marion. Thank you. And actually what you said, and if I interpreted right about getting use of the people that brought them to Guatemala, do you mean reaching out to the professors that brought them down and asking for them to help reach out to the alumni? Was that?
Yeah, or even like, I know that I organized groups to go down, like 4 or 5 groups, and those people that went, I'm still in close contact with, and they talk about their trips, but they wouldn't necessarily know or put it together that this would be a time that their help would be needed.
Okay.
And so I think they would be receptive to giving, to get us over the hump of COVID. I mean, so many of us are having to do all this stuff remotely, and we're giving so much care remotely that I think they might have not only ability to give money, but also to give suggestions on how to reach out to more people. it's just it's such a strange time, and I think people are really looking for ways to connect in ways that they haven't had to connect before. And so I think it would give people an outlet, because I know I talk to people every day. In fact, even today I talked about Nursing Heart to a group of nurses in Seattle that really want to come, but they know they can't for a while. Mm-hmm. But I think that they would want to be a part of it.
Great. That I think I would like to talk to you a little more about that. That sounds really like a good plan. And actually, I just, Sarah's been doing some really great work. She's just been going through some of the previous groups and contacts and looking at previous students that, from memory, that she remembers that were quite expressive and verbal about the impact of Nursing Heart that had on them and their nursing career. And so just today, or yesterday, I think it was, Sarah, wasn't it, that we got this big Excel sheet that Sarah's created with the names and contact details. And so part of that was I was doing it in a way of fundraising, but also, you know, this is the International Year of the Nurse, and us nurses, we're being challenged more than ever. And so I really wanted to do some recognition, some nurse recognition posts, some nurse recognition or highlighting nurses basically in our reports and in our social media as a way to thank nurses and thank our alumni. And so I think we have a great place to start, Sarah, don't we? Because you've already done the background work for that. So that's good timing.
Well, I know it's nearing 9 o'clock, right, Sue? I mean, should we can, are you there? Yeah, you're there.
Oh, you're on mute, Sue, I think.
No, I said 8:53. Ron, you have me so trained to look at the clock that we ended early.
Yes, I was a tyrant with the clock, but anyhow, but it was all fun.
I was afraid the hook was going to come out.
Can everybody here join me in applause for this great committee that came together to pull this all together?
Yay!
Yay.
And I want to thank Hannah and Jessica and Teresa. I thought their comments were so fantastic.
Yeah.
Yay!
Same, I already emailed them. I thought they were great. They did a nice job.
It was so sweet from the heart. Thank you. I mean, I think it looks like there's any
message as well. It's just, Guatemala just gets in your heart. It just does. Like everyone said tonight, the people, the organization and the people and the students articulated that so well. It's just an amazing organization and an amazing place for sure.
This is actually a really good moment. Amanda and I have been reviewing the impact, the feedback from students, and reviewing the impact that this type of work has on nurses. And we're actually looking at writing or publishing some information about it, because we really, one of the things that Amanda was talking with me about is that it's going to be difficult now to carry on this type of work, and universities, if they have to drop something, this probably would be the easiest and quickest program to drop because of the health risks. And so how do we make sure that we can really show the benefit to lifelong nursing and to nurses professionally as well as emotionally? So we've been researching this topic quite a bit, actually. So hearing Hannah, Jessica and Teresa speak about it really just showed us that it really is important, these type of work and what the organization does for nurses as well.
I think it's really important to exactly, I just want to add to what you're saying. In universities, just because both my parents worked in universities as well as my sister, and on one level, yeah, it's the first thing that they would likely drop because of budget or whatever. But I think really now during these times to focus on not just because of the movement in the world with equity of health equity and cultural equity and, you know, Black Lives Matter movement and just the imbalances of society, monetarily speaking, health, all the disparities, but really focus on narrative and the difference of education and how education as an actual experience from more of an an ethnographer's perspective, actually experiencing a situation versus reading about it, really deepens one's reflection into why they're doing what they're doing, not only from a practice standpoint to deepen their practice, but to deepen ourselves as human beings and what's really important. So I would just encourage you to definitely keep moving forward with that, whether it's, you know, using the combination of virtual learning with the technology that we can have now using meetings like this, and don't undervalue yourself of charging for that experience, because that is our culture here in the US. And, you know, do things for free for those who can't afford it, obviously, but what you are giving for free are your services there. So I just wish you the best in your foraging forward.
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. That's very nice.
Thank you, Lori.
So it's been a terrific night, you guys, to our master of ceremonies. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Sue.
You're so
Great
welcome.
job,
And it's so great. It's wonderful to be with you. What a great, big,
Good job.
big and expanding family.
Yeah.
Good to see you, everyone.
Huh?
Good to see you, everyone.
Thanks, Ross, for holding us together. We actually got through this. We're still cooking. This is great.
You got it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, Sarah.
What are you going to say?
Good to see you too.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we'll see. Good night. Thank you so
Good
much.
night.
Thank you all.
Good night, everybody.
Everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Night.
Good night.
Ciao. Good job, everybody. Good job, Jada. Beautiful. Really nice. Really nice.
I looked at the time and I was way over time. In all my rehearsal, I was 6 minutes or 7 minutes.
You were perfect. You were able to start a little early.
Oh, that's what happened.
Because
Okay.
the University of Minnesota folks, they were true to their word that they said, mine's only 3 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever. So
Yeah. Well, it's funny because in all my years of doing speeches, you rehearse and you rehearse and you rehearse, and then at the last minute it comes out mixed and upside down and back to front, but you still get everything out.
did I lose audio for a while on the song?
Yeah, but don't worry, because there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new gifts since 7:15.
That's what it's all about.
Great.
Isn't that great? Let me
Who's
just
Gina? Gina
Who's who?
Castell. Did she go on a trip?
I don't remember her. No.
Oh, wow.
This is a St. Paul address.
That's general campaign.
You know what are people donating, like $100 or something?
Yeah. 250, a 500,
Really?
a 20, a 250.
We're gonna do it.
Yep, it's already done.
100, another 250, and 125 from Father Bob, bless his heart.
Bless him.
You did it, Rowan.
Well,
Well,
Rock,
the team, everyone did it.
yeah, that's
You
right.
guys are amazing.
That's right. Well, thank you, Arturo.
Oh, have you got your own private technical man? Hi,
Listen,
Arturo. So nice
to see
Hi,
you.
how are you?
And I am really glad he was here because especially when we were having a little trouble back and forth. Oh man.
Ron, I can see your little pole in the corner. Your what's it called? I always forget this word. The baton.
The baton.
That's great.
Yeah. Well,
being paid for your labor there, Arturo.
Tell him the truth.
Okay, yeah.
Good.
Actually, we had agreement with Ron, but yeah, I was trying to be actually careful because the internet here, it's rainy here now, actually. So it's very unstable. So I was with my phone ready to, in case of the internet goes off, electricity or internet.
Yeah, we lost communication there for just a little bit. I mean, I was like, oh God.
I couldn't tell what the issue was with your sound, whether it was someone else who was not muted, and was it Rob Straczynski? I kept muting him, and then he kept unmuting himself.
That is so Rob, you guys.
Oh, is it?
So Rob.
Very good.
Oh,
Rob.
that's
No, it was fine. It was totally great.
Great. It was really worth all the effort.
Thank you for your diligence and effort.
Yeah, Ron.
Oh, you guys.
You're amazing.
Arturo, of course.
Really. Yeah.
Well, your words were just perfect, Jade. Really good.
Oh, I'm glad.
And I'm glad I was in the midst of sending you a private message during your speech, COVID update ? And then you transitioned to that, so that was perfect too.
Good. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were going to talk about that.
I'd planned to end with that.
Yeah, that's great.
No, I was told to start with a compelling story.
You did. That was compelling.
Mm-hmm. Someone's
Totally.
coming back.
Hey,
Also
okay.
trust
well,
your gut.
I got to make my tech man some dinner, so I better go.
Yeah. Time here too.
Guys, I'll talk to you in the morning, Jade.
Yes, bright and early at 8 a.m. Mila was woken up and she's been awake this whole time. I think she wanted to be a part of the event named hard after her. So hopefully I get some sleep.
That's right.
Hopefully I get some sleep tonight. So you'll see by the size of my coffee tomorrow morning.
Okay.
That's good.
All right.
Thank
I'll
you,
see
guys.
you at 8, Ron. Good night, Ross. Who's this iPhone? Is this Arturo or is this?
Oh, somebody else came back.
Someone's come back. Hello.
Arturo, thanks, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
Hasta luego.
And whoever this mystery person is, thank you very much as well for being here.
Okay, love you guys. See you.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thanks.